Hello there guys, it's MAFDOMiNUS and welcome to the Maf SML Movie Q&A, where I'm going to be answering questions that you guys might have about the Maf SML movie. So without further ado, let's celebrate my birthday with this video. So the first question I got is, will Mumble and Starfire be in Maf's SML movie post-credit scene like in the post-credit scene of the MAFDOMiNUS movie? And the answer is no, because those characters have no relations with this movie. Will this mark the beginning of the end of the Critics vs. Fans arc? Okay, now the Critics vs. Fans arc is more of a storyline for my SML reviews, and really it has nothing to do with the Maf's SML movie. If you want to see more of that, stay tuned for the top 10 best and worst SML videos of 2020. Is WH Dude going to make a cameo in the movie? I asked him, he's open to the idea. Will there be any resemblance of Jeffy in the movie? Well, maybe. Why are you adding Transformers character in an SML movie, and how many characters from SML are coming in the movie? Well, of course there's going to be Mario, Chef, PP, Luigi, and of course Brooklyn Guy, and all those other characters, but there's probably not going to be any mentions of Tony the Tiger or Woody, because I just don't have those characters, and plus at the time I written the movie, there was no time for them to put them in the script, so really there must be some kind of cameo in there or something to add them into the story or whatever. And as to why I'm adding Transformers into the movie, well, it's kind of an idea that I've had since 2014 when I first got into SML. At that time, Transformers Age of Extinction was coming out in theaters, one thing led to another, and there was a crossover between Maf SML Movie and the Transformers, because it's an idea that I've had for a long time, you know, Transformers and SuperMarioLogan as a crossover. I even had a dream where Bowser Jr. was riding Grimlock. Unfortunately, he does not do that in the movie, but still would have been cool if it did happen. But yeah, that's mainly why the Transformers are in the movie. It's to fulfill my little crossover dream that I had back in 2014. Do you have or plan on having a composer for the movie? Why are there okay, I already answered that one. But as for a composer in the movie, I'm mainly just grabbing music that I can find online that's free. And yeah, that's basically it. Public domain music that doesn't get my video claimed so I can make money off of this movie. Hey Maf, first off, I want to say happy birthday when you'll be reading this, so thank you. Also, my question is, what inspired you to make this movie? Pure spite. No, really. If Logan's not gonna release the SuperMarioLogan movie, then I'll do it myself. That's the inspiration for this movie. Pure spite. Well, since I'm a part of the cast, how's the production status on editing scenes for the film during and post? Well, I'm doing very smoothly right now. The reason why post-production is like very slow is probably because I have a lot of school, and because of the school, I also had to do some work at home and chores and stuff, so I have a pretty busy life, but when I am done with all that, in my spare time, I work on the movie, so no video games for a while for me at the very least. Will the Toad Patrol from a cartoon be in the SML movie? No. Is this movie going to be a major cringe fest? Also, quit simping for Charlie. First of all, no. And second, no. Why does Megatron need that rare mineral, and what does the mineral do? Well, the mineral is Energon, and in Transformers lore, Energon kinda powers the Transformers. They are the lifeblood for the Transformers. Without it, they'd just be walking metal and stuff like that, just a bunch of robots with no conscience and no personality. So, the Decepticons are after Energon, because not only are they running out of Decepticons, but they are also trying to bring back Cybertron. And in this movie, the Iron Asses of Wales, which is the kingdom that Chef Pee-Pee's father rules, has a high abundance of Energon, and that's what the Decepticons are after. Hey Mav, happy birthday! Here's my question. Are you willing to get me and animate a scene for you in this movie? Like a dream scene or something? I've thought about it for a while if there was going to be any sort of animation in this movie, and in the end I decided, nah, I'm gonna keep most of it live action. Is Megatron the main villain? I mean, I thought that would be obvious, but yeah, he is. Which characters will have big roles in the movie, and which ones will have small roles? Well, in the movie, Bowser Jr. is the main protagonist, but Chef Pee-Pee could also work as a secondary protagonist, while Mario and Black Yoshi are the duo-antagonists, or I guess you could say Black Yoshi is the tritagonist, because that's like the third most important character in the movie. And of course, there's also Shrek, but he's not really an important character, but he does play a big role in the movie. Other Decepticons like Shockwave and Blitzwing are also going to play major roles in this movie. Are there scrapped characters in your upcoming Maf's SML movie like Cody, Jeffy, Rosalind, etc.? Cody could not be in this movie, as of Rosalina, so yes, there are plenty of scrapped characters. How many character cameos are we to expect? I'm gonna guess plenty. And second, what sort of movie, video game, TV references and jokes do you plan to use? I know you'll come up with ways to make them work, so I wish you luck. Well, my friend, I will say there is gonna be some references to a lot of my favorite shows and TV movies and stuff like that. And as for how many cameos there's going to be, well, I don't want to say a lot, but you know, there's a decent amount. How will you sync the recording lines with the characters talking? I'm talking this because the audio wasn't really in sync with the trailer. How does it feel to edit on a phone? Well, when it comes to syncing the audio, I already recorded all of the lines with my own voice. The entire movie right now is just my voice and not the voice actors. And the voice actors will dub it over, so the dialogue is already there. It just needs to be dubbed over by my voice actors. And second of all, yes, it does feel good to edit on a phone. It's much easier than on a computer, but you know, that's because computers are complicated and phones relatively easy. When will the second Maf SuperMarioLogan movie trailer be out? Probably sometime in April, or maybe even May. I don't know. It seems like the marketing for this film is quite different from a theatrical release, because with a theater you gotta have 6 months in advance to release a trailer, and then at least 2 or 1 month in advance for another trailer. But I don't really have to do that. I'm just kinda doing it because I like to mimic theater marketing, I guess. What is the hardest part of filming the SML movie? Probably going out in public and playing with these toys, and having to say some ridiculous things with these toys, and let's just say you get a lot of looks, but I guess people don't mind because now that Super Mario Logan is kind of popular, I guess most people are like, oh, he's trying to copy that Super Mario Logan guy. I mean, which I am, but still. It is kind of embarrassing though that I have to go out in public with these toys. MAFDOMiNUS, when did you start production on the MAFDOMiNUS SML movie? Well, production really began sometime in August, but I actually had the idea for this movie all the way back at least in April or May of 2020 when I started playing with these plush toys, obviously with the SML characters, and I bought the Bowser Jr. plush from Target, and I realized, hey, I could make a movie out of this, and so that's how the idea spawned. Are you afraid that Logan might sue you for plagiarism? Well, no, because it's considered parody, so he can't really sue me for plagiarism. And besides, it's not like he doesn't care. I mean, he does care that there are people, you know, making videos, but like, he doesn't care if they're copying him or not, I guess. Is Maf SML movie going to be connected to the Plush Andrew movie? And if you're going to show up in the Plush Andrew movie, that's confidential information that I can't release right now. Will it actually get uploaded this time? What are you implying, man? Are you implying that the MAFDOMiNUS movie never got uploaded and you're mad because now I'm probably not going to upload this one? Or maybe he's just referring to the fact that the Super Mario Logan movie never came out. I'm very confused by this question. Is Mr. Goodman in the Maf SML movie? If he is, can I play him please, MAFDOMiNUS? Yes, he's in the movie, but I'm sorry, he's already taken. Does Mom Luigi have his nickel? Yeah, he does. Is WH Dude or any of the Modcast members going to be in this movie in some way, shape, or form? Yeah, I am trying to get some of the cast to probably be in this movie, maybe as a cameo, but I haven't asked them yet, so I'll probably ask them after this. How much location do the heroes go to for the plot? Well, let's see, they start off in Chef Pee-Pee's house, or Bowser's house, and then Bowser's house blows up, and now they have to go to Nevada, but then Chef Pee-Pee gets in, yeah, they do go to some locations. At one point, Bowser Jr. goes to a casino, so if you think about it, this is kind of a road trip type of movie. Do you think Logan will be jealous of your version? Yes, because I actually use plush toys. What other characters would you be using aside from Mario, Chef Pee-Pee, Jr., Black Yoshi, and Megatron in the movie? Besides them, Shrek is already in the movie, Mama Luigi is also in the movie, and Brooklyn Guy is also in the movie. Is there going to be actual living people in this movie? If you're referring to live action people, no, not really, or at least not that much. Oh, okay, I have a question of the SML movie. Is there going to be like a song opening? There will be an opening where we get to see what Bowser Jr. does in his morning routine, but I wouldn't call it a opening song or whatever. I mean, it's not a Disney musical. Have you tried editing or even asking SML crew members for lines? When I say edit, I mean like how in the Glider's YouTube poop, he's basically able to make them say anything. If you're referring to like when you take voice clips and then kind of mixing it up so they can make it sound like what you're saying, that would be way too complicated, and I don't have time to go through a lot of SML videos just to find the right dialogue. And no, I haven't tried to ask the crew members because I don't know where to ask them. I don't know these people. If Chef Pee-Pee's father, King Strongbottom, is dead, what about his two older sisters who are there to the throne before Chef Pee-Pee like Stacy? Well, they're dead. Will British Megatron donate to the Iron Avenger Patreon? No, that guy's a jerk. He'll never donate money to anybody. If you had the same budget as something like Disney or DreamWorks, what would you have done for the movie? Well, I don't know why I would need the type of budget to make this kind of movie, but if I did have that budget, I don't know, I'd probably just spend it on locations, better CGI, and actual actors. You can imagine Ben Affleck as Bowser Jr. Will the movie have copyrighted music? No, I mean, I want to make money off this video, I don't want it to get claimed. What are the reasons certain characters from SML such as Rosalina, Jeffy, and Cody aren't in the film? Also, does the movie have a script or just a rough outline and you're filling in the blanks? Also, happy birthday. Why, thank you, Jacob. And also, the reason why Cody, Rosalina, and some characters are not in the movie is for the simple fact that I don't have these characters, and by the time I was done with the script, I didn't have time to add them. So even if I did eventually get these plush toys, there was no way in them to fit in the story aside from a cameo. And yes, there is a script for this movie. It's not a rough outline where I'm just kind of playing it along as it goes. There is a story here that I have written, and yeah, there is a story here. How much production of the film is finished, and do you have a plan for the ending finale? So far, at least 30 minutes of the footage has been compiled and edited together, and of course I'm going to ask my voice actors to like dub it over. But as for an ending, I do have an ending. It's not going to be like a huge big reveal ending. It's not going to set up any sequels. It's going to be a definitive ending. How long did the filming process take? Well, let's see. I started in September, and technically I still have some things to film, but that's mainly reshoots. So technically the movie is still filming, but not as in filming like the story scenes. Like, you know, in case I need to go back and need a different shot, then, you know, I go back and reshoot it. But eventually filming will be like done, like sometime next month, I guess, when I'm finishing compiling the movie and editing and, you know, making sure I don't need to go back for reshoots. What made you decide to get voice actors for the movie instead of you voicing all the characters? Also, will you voice at least one character in the movie? Well, the reason why I got other actors, other people to do the voices is because obviously I don't want to do all the voices. I mean, sure, I may be able to do some good impressions, but there's only so much you can do with impressions. It'll start to eventually sound like it's the same guy doing the same movie. So obviously I got different people to do the voices for me. I will, however, voice act one character, but you'll have to see who it is. Will the Maf SML movie make us cry? I mean, it's not a sad movie. The difference between the Maf SML movie and the MAFDOMiNUS movie is that the MAFDOMiNUS movie is a more dramatic and serious film, but the SuperMarioLogan movie will be a more lighthearted comedy film. So I'm not trying to make people sad, but there is an emotional scene that I guess you could say might make you cry, but I don't think so. Will there be a post-credit scene sequel? There is gonna be 2 post-credit scenes actually. As for a sequel, we'll see. What would you say you improved the most from the MAFDOMiNUS movie to the Maf SML movie? Well, I would say the editing, and just in general the technical specs of the movie. The main criticism of the MAFDOMiNUS movie is that it doesn't really look good, as in, you know, the editing is a bit off, and, you know, the technical aspects is just off, and stuff like that. But with the Maf SML movie, I'm making sure that doesn't happen again. Or at least I'll try not to make sure it happens again. You know, phone editing softwares are not as complex as, you know, the ones on the computer. If the Maf SML movie does well, will it have a sequel? And is it gonna like have some plot twists? And what will come after the Maf SML movie? What other projects will you do? Well, for a sequel for the Maf SML movie, it depends on how successful this one is. I mean, if people like it and people are demanding more, you know, I'd be happy to make more. Yeah, I mean, I would. As for plot twists in the Maf SML movie, well, I mean, I don't know if I'd call it plot twists. I mean, yeah, there are going to be some surprises in this movie, but plot twists, not really. There's not going to be M. Night Shyamalan type of thing like, what a twist, or Bowser Jr. was secretly an alien the whole time, or whatever like that. And as for what comes after the SML movie, more movies, I guess. I don't really have a lot of questions, but I did see one poster with Space Godzilla, and I was wondering, how will Space Godzilla play in this movie if he's in it at all? Space Godzilla is for the Mario and Luigi Stupid and Dumb Adventure Season 3 fan-made that I made, and it has nothing to do with the movie. I'm sorry you got confused by that. There is a scene in the Maf SML trailer where Mr. Goodman says King Boss Strongbottom is dead. That edited, or how did you get that scene? Well, that is an actual edited scene. I took existing footage of Goodman on the news and then Photoshop it, I guess you could say video shop it, to make it look like he's talking about King Strongbottom. What's your favorite part about making this movie? Probably practicing my cinematography, you know. In this movie, I kinda don't want to show my hands all that much. I mean, I know Logan shows his hands when moving around the plush toys a lot, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. After all, there's only one way to control these plush toys, but I do try to hide the hands and make it look like the characters are actually moving on their own, and I'm practicing my cinematography to obscure the hands while at the same time making sure the shot looks good. And I'd say that's the fun part about making this movie. You know, besides editing, I know a lot of people hate editing videos, but for me, it's pretty fun. In the trailer, you made it look like Junior, Bowser, and PP live in a different house as Mario, Black Yoshi, and the gang. So did you cause it in SML they live together? Let me rephrase that question. I think what he's asking is why do they live in different places, and that has something to do with the fact that, well, they don't live in different places. It's as simple as that. I mean, I know they live together in the regular SML universe, but in this one, Mario and his family live in a different place while Bowser and his family live in another place, just like the old days. Are we going to have any of the same plushies that SuperMarioLogan uses in the movie? No, I mean the closest you got is Chef Pee-Pee, but that puppet looks way too different from the one Logan uses it, and I think it's because it's like a new model or something like that. Otherwise, yeah, there's not going to be any of the plush toys. What's the estimated length of the movie? Hopefully an hour long. Is your cousin from the MAFDOMiNUS movie will be in this movie? Why do you guys care about my cousin? I've gotten a bunch to answer. Is this your final involvement with SML videos? Was there any reason to add Transformers and otherworldly characters into this movie? I already answered that. Will this have any relations with the MAFDOMiNUS movie? What is the runtime of the entire movie? If Junior and Chef Pee-Pee are going to be in this movie, why not Bowser also? So to answer the first question, it's possibly the final thing I'll do involving SML. I mean, there could be a sequel, or there could be something new about SML that I wanted to cover, or something like that. But as for right now, yeah, I do kind of want it to be the final thing. I mean, after all, if I'm gonna leave SML and move on, why not go out with a banger like that? And will it have any relations to the MAFDOMiNUS movie? What is the runtime of the entire movie? Like I said, hopefully it's gonna be an hour long. And of course, Junior and Chef Pee-Pee are in this movie, but Bowser, on the other hand, well, Bowser is not going to be in this movie, but there's a reason why he's not going to be in it, and that's because he's on a business trip, as in he works for Nintendo. Because one thing that always bothered me about the SML movies is that there's no explanation for how Bowser earns money, or how he's able to sit on his ass all day and watch Charlie and Friends. And the answer for me, I guess, is that he goes on business trips and, you know, does Nintendo work because, you know, he's obviously the mascot of the villains of Nintendo, I guess. So, yeah, he's got to have some kind of job. But maybe Charlie and Friends will get referenced in there somewhere. I mean, after all, just because it's not Bowser doesn't mean it can't be no Charlie and Friends. Will the movie have a love triangle, and will there be a female empowerment scene? Because we know that's what makes a good movie, not good plot or characters. I love the sarcasm in this one. And no, there will be no love triangle. In fact, there is not going to be any love interest, because that's not what this movie is about. Now that I think about it, there's only one girl in this movie. That's kind of sad, really. I have been a fan since 2017. Happy birthday, dude. Here are the questions. What character do you enjoy acting? Will Megatron and Optimus have a battle? Will we see good characters? Well, there is only one character I'm playing in this movie, and yes, I do enjoy acting him. Megatron and Optimus, on the other hand, there will be a battle. There's going to be a battle between the Autobots and Decepticons at the end of the movie. And will we see good characters? Well, it depends if you like them. Will any of the Angry Birds appear in this movie in any form? Unfortunately, I couldn't get them into this movie. I'm sorry for any Black Yoshi and the Birds fans. Which character is likely to support the Iron Avenger Patreon? Probably Brooklyn guy. When does the movie take place? And the rest of this question is kind of grammatically incorrect, so I'm not going to read the rest of it, but when does this movie take place? At the end of the SML timeline, I guess. I mean, it depends if SML has a timeline at all, but I do want this to be at the end of the timeline where Junior is a teenager. He's around 15 to 16 in this movie now. Will Jeffy and the new puppets explode in a fiery plane crash? Well, you're about to lose interest in the movie, because why would I spend money on these things? Will it be any similar to the original SML movie plot? No, Nancy's not going to be in it. There's not going to be any Jeffy or $1 Million or kidnapping or desert or Mama Luigi having an oof-off with Jeffy. No, there's not going to be any of that because, I couldn't even if I wanted to because the Nancy puppet is expensive. Are you going to make an Operation Red Dragon movie after the Maf SuperMarioLogan movie? Well, if I'm a viewer and, Warner Brothers or Universal or any studio wants me to do it, I'd be happy to. I need a budget, but, that producer can take care of that. I don't know. I kind of want to now that you mention it, but maybe. My Maf SML question in the part where Junior and Chef Pee Pee were in Nevada, why was there a cop car and what happened behind the scenes when the cop car was there? Well, it's kind of an interesting story because my dad and I were all heading to, Reno, and then my dad got a speeding ticket, and obviously that's not a good thing, but trust me, it didn't go any arrest or anybody go to jail, it was just he got a speeding ticket. And there was a bit of production value because I was like, oh, this is how the characters can get into this situation, and so I recorded the cop car, and the cop car is going to have a significant plot point in the movie. So trust me, there is going to be something big there. But behind the scenes wise, my dad got a speeding ticket. Since I am part of the cast as the voice of Bowser Jr., I'm going to ask this one question. How is the recording process in post-production going to work? Like if you are done with the actual filming and the production, how will it work with each scene with us recording our lines? Would we record one scene at a time or something? Please clarify. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish a cut of the movie that's kind of like a rough cut, where it will kind of be just me voicing all the characters, because when I filmed the scenes, I was voicing the characters so that way I would know what they're gonna say according to the script. And then once I'm done with that, I am going to send it to my voice actors as well as the script so that way they know what they're doing. I might send specific versions to specific actors just so things don't get spoiled. Or I might just send the script alone and they can record their lines. Now, of course, we can do one scene at a time, but I will have deadlines, so, that way things don't, go slow and people can actually get their lines when I want them to. After all, I don't want to, rush the movie or anything, but I will, I will have to speed things up in case people are not getting their lines in. So yes, those were all the questions that I'm willing to answer for this movie. Now, if you guys like this video, hit that like button and subscribe like every generic YouTuber. And if you like what you see, why not consider watching more of my videos? That will help me with my ad revenue. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and I'm gonna go enjoy being 2 years old. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time in the adult world. Ladies!